Hey guys, so today I am going to be talking about some travel essentials. I've been wanting to do this video for a while now and just show you guys, the battery light just came on. I wanted to just come on here and talk about things that I like to travel with, and if you need an idea on what products are just like useful when you're traveling and what products aren't going to be that useful, which things that you can use for multiple uses, and what you should really just bring to fit in your bag. Because if you're flying on a plane, you know that you don't really want to bring too many things. Glass products, you don't know how your bags are going to be handled. So when I am traveling with a glass product and I'm not going to be the only person handling my bag, I'll wrap it up in a little towel so it doesn't hit and clink on any other makeup, because that would, if you get to your destination and your foundation, if your foundation or any other product is in glass and it's broken, I'm just gonna get right into this. And one thing, if you use primer, I love primer, so I would bring my favorite primer out of all my primers on vacation. Some days I use 2 to 3 primers, you never know, but while you're traveling, you're trying to pack light most of the time, so just bring your favorite primer that you know works good for all areas of your face that you just really love. So mine is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer. If you have not seen it, this is what it looks like. It's small, it can go into small spaces. So this is what I like to bring because I know it just works with everything. For foundation, just depending on what foundation I'm using at the moment is, what I bring right now. You probably all know by now I'm using the Maybelline Dewy and Smooth. I love this foundation so much. And if you're traveling to a tropical place and you've been tanning and or say you're still pale and you know you're going to be tan there, you can bring 2 foundations. It's not, if you brought 2 foundations, it doesn't take up that much room. This is so light. When this came out in January, that's the color I was. That's the color I was. This could be used as a concealer or a highlight under the eyes. Wow, I need to get another one of these for when I'm tan. So you could bring 2 foundations to mix and match with. Setting powder, this is what I have been loving taking with me everywhere, is the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette. And as you can see, you have your 3 dark shades, so once you get more tan, you could use these 2 colors, and you can use this color to start off with. And then you have a setting powder right here. So if you don't want to bring a setting powder like this size, because this can get weird like traveling with and packing, you can bring this palette and you're good to go as far as bronzer, contour, setting your face. So this is what I like to use all the time when I'm traveling. I bring this bad boy, and you have your setting shade, you have a yellow shade, and you have a more peachy shade. So you have all these shades and you're good to go. And then the bottom 3 shades, it's just, this is the most perfect palette. You don't need to bring just a regular mirror with you. If you need a mirror to go, you have this palette in here, and it's really great traveling with. Eyeshadow palettes. If you're traveling somewhere where you're going to events and you plan on doing eyeshadow, then you can take an eyeshadow palette if you want. Obviously, you can do whatever you want anyway. These are just my recommendations and what I like to do. So what I travel with most of the time is my Modern Renaissance palette. You can just do a lot with this no matter what you're wearing, I feel like. If you're wearing brown, you got something. If you're wearing black, you got something. If you're wearing whatever, I just feel like this is a great palette to travel with. If you have the Soft Glam palette by Anastasia Beverly Hills, this is another one I would recommend traveling with, because this one also has a lot of shades, a lot of stuff that you could do and put on your eyes. This palette is so freaking pretty. I love it. Also, you don't have to, if you don't have these palettes, don't feel like these are the ones you have to travel with. These are just what I like to travel with if I'm doing eyeshadow. But sometimes I find myself bringing a palette with me and then I don't even do eyeshadow. So if you do want to bring setting powder, go right ahead and do whatever you want. But I found the most convenient way is just bringing a palette like this that has a powder in it. But if you want like a loose powder, you know, then I'd say that, yeah, the Laura Mercier is the smallest powder I own. The Coty Airspun powder is pretty big to travel with. If you have like a nice caboodle to bring with you, then pack this in it. That can fit everything. But if you don't really have that much space, I would recommend the Laura Mercier powder to travel with because it is, for me, it's the most compact powder that I own. I don't know about anyone else. So, we talked about contouring and bronzing in this palette. If you do have a palette that also has a blush in it and setting powder and a bronzer, great, bring that. Or if you just have one that has a bronzer, blush, highlight, which I could recommend. I could recommend the Blush Bar palette by Benefit. So here is what this palette looks like. You have your Hoola bronzer, you have these great blushes that also have a little bit of a shimmer in them. So you could bring this. This palette is a little bulky, so if you do bring this palette, then you will just need a setting powder and that's it. But if you had something like the Shade and Light palette with the setting powder and contour bronzer in it, then you could just grab a small blush like so. This is my favorite blush, the Tarte Amazonian Clay in Feisty. Here is what it looks like. This is what look how small this is. For concealer, I forgot concealer, I wanted to go in order. If you didn't want to bring foundation, you could just bring a concealer that is your skin tone and put it in certain areas and make it look like you're wearing foundation with like a no foundation concealer look. So I was doing this for a while. I would put it on my chin and under my eyes and kind of just blend it under the eyes and then blend up so it kind of go onto the cheek area and it was like a foundation. And then if you wanted to, you could bring a brightening concealer. So you could bring just 2 concealers if you wanted to. You could use one as like a foundation if it's a nice full coverage concealer, if you like full coverage, and then you could bring a lighter concealer as a brightener. So for eyebrows, as all of you probably know, I use the Precisely My Brow Pencil by Benefit. This is my favorite pencil. It gives you your spoolie and your product on the end. So you could just bring this with you. This is so small, compact. This would fit in anything, a purse, a wallet. This would fit in my wallet. So you could bring any type of brow pencil. The other brow pencil that I enjoy is right here. It is by It Cosmetics, their Brow Power Pencil. This is the same thing. It's a little thicker, but it's shorter. Spoolie and your product. So a brow pencil I think is the way to go when traveling because it's nice and compact. And if you wanted to bring an eyeliner, just grab your favorite eyeliner and you're good to go. These don't take up a lot of space either. This would also fit in my wallet personally, so not a lot of space. If you are bringing an eyeshadow palette or wanting to do your eyes, I would recommend bringing a nice fluffy blending brush, and then you could also bring a dual brush that has a fluffy side and a flat side, so you could apply lid shades as well as blend some shades into your crease. And back to the eyeshadow thing, if you didn't want to bring an eyeshadow palette, but you end up wanting to do an eyeshadow look, but you don't want to bring a huge palette, you can use your bronzer contour shades. So you could go in with this shade in your crease, you could go in with this shade in your crease, you could go in with this shade as another transition color to build it up. And then if you bring a highlighter, if you just bring one little highlighter like this, or if you bring a triple dual highlighter, you can use your bronzer contour palette as transition shades in your eyes. And then if you wanted to add a shimmer, you could just grab some of this and pop it right on your lid and have a great shimmer color. So this palette I would recommend highly because you can use it as a highlighter. That's what it is, it's a highlighter palette. But it has these 3 gorgeous shimmer shades, more of a white shade, a golden, and a pink shade. So you could really get some looks going with this palette. I highly recommend this palette otherwise. This is the Milani Stellar Lights palette in 03 Rose Glow. I love this palette. I've talked about this palette multiple times on my channel. I have the first shade here, Pearl, in my brow bone and in my inner corner as my highlights in those areas. This I pretty much use every day in those areas. I just love the way it pops the eye. So if you don't want to bring an eyeshadow palette, you pretty much just have like this. And if you have a palette like the Shade and Light palette, then you just have this to travel with, your highlight for your eyeshadow, brushes, blush. And if you choose to bring a foundation and concealer, if you just choose to bring a concealer and you have your primer, and that's it. This is not a lot of stuff. This fits in something so small. And then lastly, if you like setting spray, and if you do use setting spray, you could bring a setting spray. I would recommend bringing your smallest one. These 2 are my smallest ones from Wet n Wild, or if you have the mini MAC Fix Plus. So probably the mini MAC Fix Plus if you have this or can buy this. So if you have these things with you, you can have a full face of makeup, you can look flawless, you can look gorgeous, and you are not bringing a lot of stuff with you. I know it's hard to choose what items you want to bring with you, so that's why I kind of wanted to do this video for you guys, just to break it down and show you what you can bring with you that's so easy to travel with, and different makeup products that you can use for different things. Alright guys, that's all for this travel essential videos. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope this helps you out if you're having a hard time deciding what to bring with you traveling, and what products are so universal that you can use all over the face, not just on one part of the face that you're supposed to use them on. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you're always watching and you plan to do so in the future. Don't forget to subscribe down below. Click the subscribe button. I will link all of my social media down below as well. It is always in the description box of my videos, and I will see everyone next video.